Is that the owl? Whoa, this is so heavy. Intense. As I'm stepping in here, owls are going on too. Is that owls? Dude, this is really creepy. Well, if I die soon, there you go, right at the shrine of death, I'm hearing owl calls. That could be my mom, though. Wow. I mean, this is the statue of Lourdes. You hear it? There's owls, too. And this is where everybody comes and puts the card of their loved one that died. That's where all these are. You hear it? I think that's an owl, too. Look at, these are some people I know as well from the community. You hear the owl? I think that's an owl. Wow, this is an intense, heavy feeling in here too. Look at all these young faces. Whoa. Oh, I have an owl tattooed on my back. A big one. Wow, this is heavy, intense feeling in here. Right as soon as I stepped in this shrine part, it just like, I got pulled into the vortex, like, whoop. I felt the just heaviness of everybody's prayers and sorrow. Oh my God. And then as soon as I stepped in, the owls started going. You don't hear owls during the day that much either. It's my mom calling. I was supposed to give blood work this morning and they couldn't even get blood from my body. They couldn't even get a vein. I got like band-aids all over me right now because the guy, he couldn't go anywhere. Like, he missed both times. Is that a huge mosquito? Whoa, look at the size of that mosquito. That is not a dragonfly. That is a mosquito, I think. Oh my God. Get out of here. Hell no. I got long hair too. I don't need ticks. There's mad ticks around here. Yeah, I'm anemic. I got Mediterranean anemia too. So they had me like, fast and only drink water, and I didn't even drink that much water, so like 6 o'clock in the morning, they're trying to take blood, and they couldn't even get, like, blood from my veins. Last time, my blood coagulated, too. So now I gotta go back a different day, because the guy couldn't get blood from me. How crazy is that? My body didn't want to give it up. Dude, what a heavy feeling. Owls are messengers too, man. It's almost creepy when you're walking to the shrine of death and the owl's going off. But you know what? I have owl tattoos, and owl's been a symbol of my family and my mom. And it's like a special symbol for me too, so. And I'm not scared of death. I just want to be here more for my daughter. You know, I want to watch her grow up and help her grow up. Definitely not ready to go yet. But I know a lot of people's families that have prayed here and have a lot of these mass cards from people's, wakes from the funeral home. I'm sure I know a lot of those names. I don't feel like sifting through it right now, but even some of the benches that has family names here, I know a lot of these people. Some of the benches are from families that have donated over kids that I grew up with that have died. Well, grown people, but they were, still kids when they died, basically. How crazy is this? This is, I think, a Lourdes, a shrine in honor of the Lourdes. Someone had asked in the chat room. I come from Italian background where it's heavy Roman Catholic and Christian, and also some mysticism, and with the saints and all of that. I would say I'm more like a Christian mystic now. And the word occult has been used and demonized, so when people hear the word occult, they think of like evil witchcraft or like demons or something like that. But the actual word occult means just secret and hidden knowledge and secret knowledge. So I don't really go with the dogma of some of the church, but I do believe that a lot of the Bible has some really amazing information in there. And I do believe that there is one ultimate God universe, right? And we live in God's universe. And I also do believe that Jesus Christ came here as a messenger to open the stargate to heaven that was closed ever since the fall of man, ever since Adam fell, if you want to say. And so if you want to label that a Messiah, okay, but I don't believe a lot of the dogma of the church, unfortunately. So I wouldn't consider myself that. I wouldn't consider myself like a normal Roman Catholic or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's hard to put a label on it, because even a normal Christian, because I do believe that the reincarnation is possible. I do believe that's part of what happened, is our souls were not harmonically evolving to a higher evolution. They were being recycled over and over again, and we needed someone to point us the stargate to heaven. We lost the coordinates, certain parts of us have been tampered with, shut off. So I think the whole idea of Jesus was not about having churches like this, you know. So you can hear the owls still. Shout out to Megan. Thank you, Megan, so much. Really helps out. Thank you for the donations. I don't get much super chats, so I really appreciate it. Anybody that does donate, it really does help out. I do a lot of content on here, and I really appreciate it. I'm trying to make my members, for the members that subscribe here, that's where I put a lot of my high definition videos, because currently, like, the phone I have right now, the quality of live videos when I do these live ones isn't great, because it pixelates and it does all crazy stuff. So when I don't do a live video, I can get out my good camera and record a video, which I've been doing as well. So, but unfortunately I can't do that. I can't do it live right now with the good camera. But eventually I'll get like a SIM card in that one, or I'll get like, something like that where I can get like a high quality live stream. But I know, because I know the videos aren't probably that great of quality when I'm doing it live. But this forest is really intense. And before it was owned by the Roman Catholics, it was a spot of Native American, and I think that they actually used it. They might have even actually used it for a burial ground, because when I do dowsing in the open field, all the way in the fields over there, when I do dowsing in those areas, it's like there's one spot for like 2 football fields or more, where like every couple of feet the dowsing rods are crisscrossing. It's almost like there's graves, and or something like that underneath, unless there's an elaborate piping network down there or something. But I don't think so in that area, because that might do it too. But it seemed like it was graves or something like that. And this area was picked, this is a very special forest here. And this forest has been used for all sorts of things. I've told the story before a long time ago. When I was a kid, there was more statues in these woods. Now they have the statues all around the Mary as the Stations of the Cross, because you'll see this forest, when you walk into this forest, you have the Watchers, the Seraphim, standing over the gateway of the forest, holding the crown for the giant Mary that's over 50 feet tall over there. So it's almost like they're crowning her, like almost like she stepped off that platform, and as she walks into the forest, she's being crowned in her heavenly glory, right? And she's a giant, and that's like almost like Diana walking as queen of the fairies, queen of the forest, being crowned. But then you have all these statues, right? All this stuff in here, and for like hundreds of yards, it used to be cornfields behind there, and now it's different. But when we were kids, I mean, you have all these monuments, and they had all these statues out in the forest. And when we were kids, we would when we were in the cornfields, we found like 2 German shepherds hanging by chains, and like there was evidence of like a fire that was around, and stuff, stuff was going on. So there was some sort of weird witchcraft going on. I mean, even at the same time, in the late 1970s, early 1980s, not too far away from here is Yonkers, and there's a park. I I posted about it on my Patreon before. Um, I'm not gonna put the name right now because I don't really want to have everybody go look at it and glorify it in a way. But there's a park in Yonkers, you can find it if you guys do digging. But where satanic worship was going on, and it just so happens like in this park, there's an ancient part of the park where they have these old Roman pillars as well, and things like this. And this is where Son of Sam was actually, you know, whatever group that he was associated with, he was going there and doing his ritual worship in this park, David Berkowitz. And they were hanging German Shepherds as well in that area. And in fact, I grew up with Michael Imperioli, who was a star on Sopranos. And I don't talk about it on here ever. I never bring it up because I don't really want to like name drop. But like we grew up together. Their family, they're like, you know, I call his mom aunt. You know, but they're cousins. You know, his mom's not literally my mom's sister, but they're cousins. They're not you know, they're my mom's cousin, not sister. But we grew up together. Like, you know, we grew up together. Like his mom was my mom's sister, and he's my older brother's age. So him and my older brother and my sister were more closer. I was more closer to his younger brother John. Like we still are in close contact and stuff like that. But he actually wrote the story Summer of Sam and sold it to Spike Lee. So that story like affected this area and things like that. So it was like known that they were certain things that happened in the investigation. So when I was a kid and me and my friend found those German Shepherds hanging over here, you know, right where there's a Catholic, you know, temples and stuff like this, like immediately my mind was like, oh my God, this is not just somebody killing their sick dog or something like this. This is like something demonic or satanic. So this forest has a sort of weird energy in it. You know, who knows what kind of gateways have been opened up in this forest before. You know, I've had good experiences out here and I've had bad experiences in these woods before. What's also curious is like a lot of the statues that have to do with Jesus in this whole area, this park here, right, have Jesus's arms either broken off or severed. Even this one. And of course, if you ask around here to priests that have been here for a while or people that have to do with this, wow, it's like he's got blood on him. Check that out. That is actually a berry from the tree. And it looks like blood. That is like bird poop. This is crazy. So a lot of these statues with Jesus too, they will have Jesus's arms severed, which is a very ancient occult symbolism, like of Dionysus, who was another one that was resurrected from the dead, you know, and was dismembered. Even Osiris, his body was cut apart, he was dismembered, and he rose without arms from like the trunk of a tree. You know, these stories of Attis, the god Attis, right? And you know, the list goes on and on. You know, Adonis is another one. But the thing is, these other avatars, Osiris, Adonis, Attis, they were done through rebellious fallen angels, Nephilim intelligences. They were done with divine knowledge, but divine knowledge that was used by God's messengers, God's rebellious fallen angels. They were not used directly by God. I think Jesus was done directly by God, directly by the universe to help humanity. He was a different Messiah or Avatar, if you want to say. The other ones were like moonchilds. They were avatars done with, yes, divine intelligence, but divine intelligence that was used by rebellious fallen angels, and they were done by hybrids. They weren't done. Jesus was the only one that was born from a human mother and died a human death and came into the spirit world to open up that stargate for us. And here, when they have arms removed of Jesus Christ and depicting him similar to Dionysus, they are totally bastardizing what's going on. Now, if you ask around here, the official story is that these statues have fallen over in the past, and that they've broken off. Parts have broken off before, from them tumbling over. It is very hard to move these statues. When one of them is on the ground, it takes a group of 6 to 8 men to get it back. You have to have a truck pull it up. You have to put straps around it. I've seen them try to move these statues. These don't just fall over. And why is it just the Jesus statues that arms are removed? The other one above top near the big Mary, the big Madonna, both of Jesus's arms are severed. I've showed it before. And you can look at the stories of Adonis and Attis, where they rise with their arms severed in the trunk of a tree, or how Dionysus was eaten by titans. He was boiled. He was lured out as a child and dismembered and eaten when his father left. And you see the unique symbolism of the forest. How even this bird poop, you could see it's the spot where it fell. It's like bird poopish. It's reddish. Look at that. Deep in the eyes too. How is that possible? That is intense. Shout out for the super chat as well, everybody. But I'm actually going to be doing another live video in a little while, but I got to charge my phone and I got to get some food in me because I haven't eaten. And I was poked alive like several times. They only got a little tiny bit out of me. Look at how look at how it landed on this guy. This guy's like got a more purple looking one on the side of his head. But when I was younger as a kid, I came in here on mushrooms and acids before, and I've had weird experiences with some of these statues. And even sober, like, there's some things that have happened because it took me a while to come back up here after my neighbor's family was actually, something terrifying happened to them that I don't want to really talk about again right here, that I do it on my private shows. But the lady had a Marian apparition, and then she went on a terrifying rampage. And after that, I knew the lady frequented this place as well. And after that, it was very frightening to me because as a kid, at that same time when this happened to the lady, I had also a vision come to me. And I didn't give in to the vision. I fought it. I felt the evilness of it. And since then, I've been on a quest for truth. And I thank you, everybody, for joining me and for supporting me. And I really love you guys all. And what do we say? We say spiral out. Also, shout out to Johnny out there, right? Much love, Johnny. Spiral out.